This question has been going around for years, especially over the last 2 to 3 years. But are we literally allowing the demise of America because we're allowing sleeper cells and we're allowing terrorists to cross our borders? It's amazing to me that we say, okay, we want refugees here. We're gonna help them out. Do you know that a lot of these people that are coming are not even from South America or even Mexico? They're coming from all over the world. We're going to talk about one today, and to be honest with you, there's been a lot of debunking. They're trying to say, well, this guy wasn't that guy. He said, you will learn to know my name. Like when you hear threats like that from a guy who's from Azerbaijan, who's a Muslim, that's nowhere near the southern border. Why is he coming across our border? There's been people that's interviewed him. There's people trying to stop him, and they just let him right across. Let's talk about it today. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here this morning. It has rained, I bet you 6 inches through the night. If you look over here, that pond is not supposed to be that full. I love it that full, it looks pretty, but it's actually now starting to get into pastures. We're about 3 foot up on a T-post now, so it's getting pretty intense, and it's actually starting to sprinkle again. So I don't know, it's Mississippi, man. We go from droughts to literally horrendous floods. It's crazy. If you're new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Let us know what you think about this content. Again, our goal is to always bring information to you. Our goal is to always talk about prepping and homesteading, but in a way that gives us common sense to see what's really happening out there. Now, there's a story that's kind of floating around about a terrorist, a known, alleged, let me say this, alleged terrorist coming across the border. He's been known to cause issues all over the Middle East. Here's the thing. They're already starting to debunk him, saying, oh, that's not the same guy. That's not the same guy. However, if you go, I'm not going to say his name because I know I would be taken down if I say his name. But this guy was actually arrested for known terrorism. Now, the thing is this. If he's not, say he's not. Say this is not the guy like some liberals have come out and said. Why is there still an Azerbaijan man of middle age coming across the southern border of Mexico into America? And when they interviewed him, or when some cameraman stopped and said, who are you? Who are you? Where are you from? He says, I'm from Azerbaijan. You will know my name before long. Like he almost like openly threats America, saying, you should know who I am. If you don't know who I am, you will before long. Is that not a threat? And no one stops the guy, just walks straight on in. It blows my mind. You know, you can push this women's and children thing down our throats, and I think that that's what legacy media has done for so long. But ultimately, I know Democrats are pushing this border situation because they want the votes. It allows them to have power forever. I understand that. But do you realize they are jeopardizing their own family, their own safety, the own sovereignty of America, because they're not only letting those quote-unquote women and children in, those quote-unquote 10 to 12 million Hispanics in, they're letting terrorists in, or alleged terrorists in, or Chinese nationalists in. What are we doing? And I know people's talked about this several times. We've even talked about it till we're literally blue in the face. I'm really sick of talking about it. But I guess what I don't understand, and I just wish somebody would help me understand, why are we allowing this to happen? Now, the sad thing is, Texas is taking a stand now, and I think it's amazing. We talked about this. We were hoping for 25 states and the former President Trump to all say in one accord that they stand with Texas. Well, they did that. That's amazing. And now, here's the thing. You're hearing Biden push, well, we need a border bill. This was all Trump's fault. Sadly, the media will spin it to be where it's Trump's fault. Mitt Romney came out and said it's Trump's fault. He came out the other day and it's like, hey, it's really, this is a problem that Trump started. He wants this problem to keep on going because it looks better on him. Do you see how the narrative is always against ruining the former president? All the while we're letting our defenses down, and we're allowing these people into our country, all for the votes and all for the political prestige. Did you hear the award in Trump's defamation case and his civil trial? The lady was awarded $88 million. They said that was like 5 times what the plaintiff was wanting. Now again, it'll go through appeals. Nobody's writing a check today or anything like that. But there's a level of hate and there's a level of resentment towards the former president and anything he stood for, toward now it's causing a detriment, not only to him, but to our country. Has nothing to do with him. But the fact is, he wanted the border secured so bad that the Democrats didn't, and now all of a sudden, not only do we have a whole new voting bloc, we have a whole Arkansas or a whole Mississippi or a whole North or South Dakota moving in, a whole nother state basically moving in our country. That's just one thing. That gives Democrats power. But what about the safety of Americans? When we see people like this guy, this Muslim guy, walking across our border and basically saying open threats. Now, last time I checked, Azerbaijan is nowhere near Colombia, it's nowhere near Mexico, it's nowhere near South America at all. It's in the Middle East. So why is this guy coming across our border? And why are we, as Americans, just allowing it to happen? I commend Texas, but here's what I don't want to happen, and I want to put a warning out there. We do not need another J6. And here's what I mean. They said there's been tons of militia groups going down there to help, and I hope they're helping. I want the honesty. I think people on our side, the conservative side, want to do the right thing. But be careful, because I imagine there's bad players all in these groups. They're not conservatives, they're just acting like one to cause mischief. So that's what scares me, is that are we looking at another J6 situation where we have all these militias down there, and then all of a sudden something goes down and they blame the conservatives like they did, or they blame Trump like they did. I hope that doesn't happen. But I will say this, when we have terrorists walking across our border, they're making sleeper cells in America, and there's probably already tons here. The safety of your family is a big deal. And they're worried about selling out for votes, they're worried about selling out for military contracts, they're worried about selling out for all these other things. Your congressmen who are conservative, they've done nothing. Mike Johnson, nothing. They're talking about doing a border bill, they're still doing nothing. The Senate, Langford, all of them that came together and tried to do a border bill, nothing. As I said before, the protection of your family is the utmost importance. If I lived in big cities, I would really be conscientious, because these people are not moving to rural Arkansas, rural Mississippi, rural Alabama. They're moving to cities because that's where they can do the most damage. New York, Chicago, Houston, San Francisco, wherever it may be. Person who literally stated, "You will know my name," and that's only part of it. I think it's over 700 people on the terror watch list have been documented coming across the border. Now, hopefully they stopped most of them, but that was 700. What about the other maybe 12 million, 15 million that's come across the border? Has any of them been checked and know that none of them are terrorists too? It's hard to believe it's only 736, which is still an outrageous number. It's not about the votes anymore. It's about the safety of Americans. It's about the safety of our children. Again, I said yesterday's video, 100 years ago, roughly, we were facing a world war and we were looking at a depression. Both of those things made for very trying times. And that was not counting another world war that was coming on just a decade and a half later. If we don't pay attention, we're literally setting us up for the same cycle of a depression because of the financial stuff that we talked about yesterday, or the fact of world wars or major events. And I don't think nobody wants that. But what are we doing? And then to hear the spin that Biden says, "Well, all they got to do is send me a border bill." It's all lies. It's all lies. Again, this guy says, "Soon you will know who I am." Soon you will know who I am. Now, there's been stories saying this is him, this is not him, this is him, this is not him. But the guy's on camera at our southern border saying, "Soon you will know who I am." If we know who he is, that means there's something bad that's happening in America. Stay vigilant. Be careful. Be wary of all the news that we're hearing. At the same time, do your research and try to find out what's truth and what's not. And again, what can keep your family safe. Guys, thank you for watching. God bless. Happy homesteading, y'all.